Are you guys ready for something a little different? There is this new game called The Altars, and oh my god, is it good. I'm going to show you a little bit of this game and talk about a bit why I like it, and maybe you'll check it out. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you're into puzzle games, sci-fi games where you kind of have to like use your, just like twist your brain a little bit more to figure out problems and things going on, this is probably going to be right up your alley. So I'm going to use a channel that I watch often for this, Gamer's Little Playground. I don't have my own gameplay recorded on this because I've been playing on Xbox, but I do think I might play this on stream depending on if you guys like what we're looking at here, like the way it sounds. So just a quick premise to introduce you to what this game is. In The Altars, you're basically a person who is sent on a mission with a crew to distant planets to find a specific material that really hasn't been mined. It hasn't fully been extracted. And you are the first person, I believe, to find and actually extract it. In doing so, you get to use its properties. And one of those properties is basically generating life. And so the way this progresses in the game is it allows you to create alternate paths of your DNA where you will spawn a person who looks like you, has a lot of the same life milestones as you, but is still a different person. They have different memories, they went through different things, and you get to track the things that happen to them that makes them have the different life, but that different life gives them different skills. So you have to keep cloning yourself to create a big enough team to solve your problems. And your problem is that you're stranded on a planet. So you got this base, and basically you have to manage this whole base, and over time put more and more people inside of here. And you have to put certain rooms inside of this base. It's basically a base building game, right? But it's also a team building game. It's a resource gathering game. And it's a little bit of an action adventure game. I like to refer to it as a Rubik's Cube of puzzles because it feels like they've taken 3 or 4 different formats for puzzles and put them all together to try and make you stressed out. Is it like Fallout Shelter? I never got to play Fallout Shelter. I remember when they released it. It does seem to have the same kind of format. This feels to me kind of like a combination of like Civilization, Frostpunk, and Satisfactory. A small amount of Satisfactory in there. Let me show you what it looks like though when you are actually, so when you're alternating between you and somebody else, what you have to do is like come into this interface and look at your own memories. Kind of what you've done throughout life that defined you getting to the place that you're at. Let me see if they show the full timeline here. Yeah, so you can see there's a timeline, and these are all your memories. Each one of these little dots is like a full memory that tells you something about your character. And you can see it branches off here. You can constantly pick these different spots throughout your timeline and create a branch that makes a different type of person. So this one makes a refiner, whereas you were normally a miner or a tech person or whatever. So you could split off here to make a scientist, whereas normally you would have basically turned down a job, or rather you would have turned down a position in school because you got a high-paying job. You go back in your timeline and you say, okay, instead of turning down that position and taking the job, I took the position and went into school. And so then what it'll do is it basically takes that decision and creates a new timeline out of it. Oh, he's not doing it yet. Here we go. There we go. So it basically makes a complete new timeline out of that decision. So in this case, they made a scientist. And you know, he's like a little pompous, he's a little more proud, he's straightforward. Different personality.
They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which could only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found rubidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So every time you do one of these sort of clones, they all have a different reaction to waking up. They wake up, you introduce them to what the heck's going on. Hey, I just created you. You don't actually exist. All your memories are fake, but you're here to help me. And they all kind of have different reactions to this. And each of them have their own mental problems. They have things that pop up that make them feel a little bit sketchy or not good enough to do the job. And you have to placate them. You have to talk to them. You have to make sure they're okay, get the job done, but also be healthy. And it's very much, yeah, it has some Mickey 17 vibes. It's very much a psychological puzzle game. But then when you're not doing that, when you're not managing your team, you have to go outside the base. You have to set up mining networks. You have to find deposits. You have to find ways through the problems that encounter, or that your base encounters. All the while, the planet you're on has a star that's going to burn you all alive. So the whole game is based on this premise of we have to keep moving across the planet, but we also need to make sure as a team we can work together and we're not killing each other, and we're mining goods and making food for ourselves and maintaining a base that has food, water, life support, all the things. It's a handful. But because of that, it makes me play it the same way that Civ does, is where like you're getting ready to finish for the night, but then something finishes that you weren't paying attention to that you set up 2 hours ago. And you're like, okay, well, now that's done. Let me go handle what that is going to do. Okay, well, now I've handled that. Something else is done. Let me go do that. And you got that sort of one more turn vibe every time, and I love it. But this is more of like the action adventure side of it, where you're going out, you're finding things that you need to mine, new locations that you need to put down, like a drill. You gotta set up a power network to make sure everything is connected back to your base. And it's a beautiful game too. See if I can show you. There's a really nice scene here. Also, the music is so good. It is a truly fascinating game. And I was originally pretty interested in it. But this year we don't really have game money, so I wasn't planning on playing it, but it came to Game Pass. And I have been playing the absolute crap out of it on Game Pass. I would highly suggest, if you get it, to just give it a try. So here he's setting up a mining deposit. Let me show you the scanning. The scanning in this game is actually really cool, and I hope, I guess I'm not going to say I hope. I wish Star Citizen did ground scanning like this. It's like this really cool, you basically set up like a light net that can see underground, and then you manually look through this net that you've created to see where the minerals are. So you set these pylons down and they create a net, and then you can see down into that net. You can kind of see where like the minerals are under the ground. And then you send out a wave, and that tells you kind of where the concentration is. So then you set down more probes to create more windows into the ground. And then when you get the full view, it tells you where exactly the concentration is most significant, and you set down your drill. I am only in Act 1 of this game. I haven't moved on to Act 2. I ran into a pretty big problem. and I haven't gotten to get around it yet. But it gets pretty complex. So you can see here, you've got like a production queue. Just like in Civ, you get a production queue. You can set the production queue to run on certain things at certain times. And then you can tell your team that you need them to run that specific station so that that stuff gets done. Depending on what station you need run, you can then go back in and alternate, create a new version of yourself that specifies in that thing, whether it's mining, whether it's a greenhouse. Maybe it's somebody who's good at combat, somebody who knows how to keep all of the other folks in line as like a psychologist. It gets deep. I really love the idea of this game. I think I will do something a little better prepared. Right now, I'm just kind of talking to you, ranting about it. I think I want to do something that's a little better prepared though, and show off this game in more detail because this is a gem, and I hope that this game does well in terms of sales and they can continue to build off of it because 11-bit does good stuff. This is also the same company that made Frostpunk. If you've ever played that, you probably understand when I say there are psychological decisions that you have to make in this game that are going to make you feel kind of like a dick at times. Yeah, I think I'll stream this. We should do a gameplay stream of this at some point. I think it'd be good. But there's a little preview of the altars. I'm going to see how people react to this on Space Tomato 2. And if people like it, then we'll start doing more stuff. That's how I'm going to do everything from now on. I'm going to try stuff out on this stream on Space Tomato 2. If you guys are interested in it, then we'll continue on maybe doing like gameplay videos or the main channel stuff or something like that. But I think that there are a lot of people who would enjoy this game if they got to see it.